Good afternoon. Chaim Nachman Bialik, the brilliant Hebrew poet, wrote, "If you wish to know the fortress to which your forebears bore their treasure, their scrolls of Torah, their holy of holies, if you would find the refuge which kept your people's mighty spirit safe, turn to the ancient house of prayer. Your heart will tell you your feet touch the threshold of our house of life. Your eyes behold the storehouse of our soul." It is said that our enemies have always known where to hurt us. For the Jewish people, the synagogue is our house of life, the storehouse of our soul. Here we celebrate life's most cherished joys. Here we turn for comfort in loss and for faith in tomorrow. Here we affirm that the values of kindness and fairness and love of all human beings are the most important values of all. Throughout the ages, whether in the shtetls of Eastern Europe or the big cities of America, the synagogue has been present for the Jewish people, a symbol of hope and stability even in our darkest hours. More fervent than any other prayers we might offer this afternoon are prayers of gratitude that the hostages taken yesterday at Congregation Beth Israel are all safe, and prayers of thanksgiving to the law enforcement teams that rescued them and watch over us, and to government leaders such as Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney, who represents New York's 12th district in which we stand, and whose commitment to fighting anti-Semitism and all religious hatred should be a guiding beacon for Congress. And I'm honored to introduce Carolyn Maloney, our Congresswoman, to offer a few words now.
Thank you, Rabbi Davidson, for bringing us together. I am here today standing in solidarity with the New York Jewish community, grateful that they are safe, and really pledging my work and my time to work collectively with all of the religious leaders, all aspects of our society, for peace and justice. And life is a gift. Today is a gift. We have an opportunity to change this, to combat this anti-Semitism, and I join you in that effort.
Thank you, Congresswoman, for your leadership at all times. We're so grateful that you represent us.
Thank you.
Though the immediate danger has passed, our thoughts at this hour remain with those seized, as now they must recover from an unimaginable trauma. And don't we feel it too in our own way? Yesterday, once again, the spiritual safety which all people of faith seek in their house of prayer, be it their temple, their church, or their mosque, yesterday that security was shattered. But by gathering together at this hour, we stand in defiance of those who would do us harm. Buoyed by one another and by faith, we will carry on. The great psalm of strength, of endurance, of commitment to keep on walking through the shadow of trauma toward the light of a better day is Psalm 23. I know many of you know it, and I'll invite you to please join me if you do. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I don't know Beth Israel's truly extraordinary Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker well, but we all heard yesterday how he is a spiritual leader dedicated to bringing people of different faiths together. He knows what we all know, that when one religious community is threatened, all are threatened. We need each other, and how fortunate we are to have each other. And how grateful I was yesterday for calls from many religious leaders, including those joining me here. The Reverend Scott Black Johnston of Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church and Sabeeha Rehman. Scott and Sabeeha lead Christian and Muslim communities with whom Temple Emanu-El has become partners in ongoing dialogue, prayer, and study. They remind us that we are not alone, and I'm honored to invite them each to offer a few words now. First, the Reverend Dr. Scott Black Johnston.
Anti-Semitic rhetoric and anti-Semitic violence is abhorrent to Christian communities everywhere. It must be resisted. It must be called out. When such violence enters Jewish sacred places, spaces where communities are actively seeking to pursue the good to which God calls us, the Tikkun Olam, it is particularly disturbing, sad, and in need of loud reproach. Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church stands in solidarity with Temple Emanu-El and all our Jewish brothers and sisters on this Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. We say with you and alongside you, we shall overcome.
Thank you, Dr. Johnston. And now Sabeeha Rehman.
Shalom, Salam Alaikum, peace. Bismillah Rahman Rahim, in the name of God, the gracious, the merciful. Thank you, Rabbi, for assembling us here today. Today, as an American Muslim, I join my cousins in faith in prayers of gratitude. Gratitude that the crisis was averted, gratitude for the release of the hostages, gratitudes that lives were saved, and gratitude that after a long day of horror and terror, that people went home to be with their families. When will this stop? When will attacks on our Jewish brethren stop? It's not enough to condemn anti-Semitism. It's not enough to condemn attacks on houses of worship. It's not enough to condemn violation of the holy day of Sabbath. Words matter, but action makes a difference. And in these moments of horror and terror, spiritual leaders across all faiths came together, worked with law enforcement to overcome the crisis. Because we know that when the perpetrator attacked the synagogue, he attacked our values and what we stand for, peace and solidarity. He attacked the bridges that bring us together, that connect us. And when he took our Jewish brethren hostages, he took us hostage. He took our faith hostage. But he failed. He failed because we came together, we stood together, we prayed together, and we took action. And today I join you all in prayer that may this be the last time in the cycle of violence and anti-Semitism. And I pray that the next time when we convene here on the steps of the temple or inside the beautiful sanctuary, that it be to rejoice and celebrate. Amen.
Thank you, Sabeeha. And I want to thank and acknowledge those members of the Muslim community with whom Temple Emanu-El is in regular conversation and dialogue and prayer, and those members of Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church who have come and worshiped with us in this sanctuary and whom we have visited in their beautiful sanctuary, for being here with their leaders standing with our community. We know you are here when we need you, and we hope you know we will be with you. God forbid you should need us. I now want to turn to my Emanu-El colleagues, Rabbi Amy Ehrlich and Rabbi Sarah Sapadin.
Jewish tradition provides us with a prayer of gratitude that is recited after surviving fearful moments. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'gemalani kol tov. We praise you. We praise you, source of all blessings, who has been so good to us. And let us say together, Amen. And I invite you to join in the response by repeating the following phrases. May the one who rewarded us with all goodness,
May the one who rewarded us with all goodness,
reward us with all goodness for all time.
reward us with all goodness for all time.
Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be so.
Yesterday, as 4 fellow Jews were held hostage in their synagogue home in Colleyville, we watched in fear. We were a community stunned again by terror. For many, the trauma of yet another attack on our people, in their place of worship no less, was almost too much to bear. No person should ever be afraid to enter their house of worship. No person should ever have to fear for their lives when offering prayers for the lives of others. As we gather today in gratitude for the safe passage of those innocent souls, we use this opportunity not only to offer our prayers of thanksgiving, but also to raise our voices in solidarity and to stand up against all forms of hatred, animus, and prejudice. On this weekend, when we honor the memory of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we recall his famous words written in his letter from Birmingham: "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Indeed, we who stand before you, we are connected one to the other in love and support and friendship. We who stand before you, we are connected through our deep wells of faith and are reaching every day for God. And we who stand before you, we are connected in our striving to live out the mission of Dr. Martin Luther King, to eradicate hate in all its forms, to stamp out prejudice wherever it may live, and to build a world where we may all live in peace, harmony, and freedom." Dr. King wrote, "Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope." Yesterday we were full of despair, but today we affirm the glimmers of hope all around us. We have seen people across faiths come together. We have watched strangers embrace strangers. We have witnessed all walks of humanity come together in love and in faith. Indeed, Dr. Martin Luther King wrote, "We shall overcome, because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." Dearest friends, may the words of Dr. King reverberate loudly in our hearts today as we proclaim, we shall overcome injustice and intolerance and hate in all its forms, today, tomorrow, and every day. I invite you now to please join me in the singing of "We Shall Overcome." We will sing 2 of the verses. We shall overcome and we are not afraid. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my someday. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
I thank you all for being here today very, very much.